Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday. Shout out to that one dude who gave me -2 lift loss today. That was really cool of them. Hey, there's a monthly banner coming up. I feel like every time I introduce one of these videos, it's always about banners, which maybe says something about the current state of Fire Emblem Heroes in that 90% of the game is mostly just banners. Anyway, there's a banner coming up. There's a banner coming up. Surprise! Who's shocked? Not me. Certainly not me. It's all down there. You can see it. I'll explain it. But it's pretty straightforward. I think you guys kind of broke their brains with the Attuned Hector thing. I don't know that they planned on having this be an issue, but now it kind of is an issue, so we have to talk about it. So as you can see with the upcoming pool and with the March calendar, Hector probably should have been in red, and Thiazi probably should have been in green. Yep. But then y'all went and voted for Hector in the Hero Rises thing. So he's already here. And something interesting that I'll touch on real quick is that Attuned Hector and Duo Ninja Lucina are both slated to come back in April. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Hector's not going to be on the banner at the end of the month, but it also kind of means that he's not. It is true. Look, he could be coming back in April. That is an honest answer. He could also be coming back in the end of March, and just, that they didn't say that part. What is interesting is that they specifically called out, who was it, Sigurd and Lynn, saying that they would be back in late March. But maybe it's different with Hector because he's not a legendary mythic emblem, and so not previously announced that he would be on the monthly banner for March. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. Something to keep an eye out for is the fact that the last week in April, I think it starts on a Tuesday, whatever the last Tuesday in April is, the 29th, I think, is when Golden Week starts, which technically is still April. Does that mean they're planning some kind of like weird Golden Week banner that maybe has Attuned Hector and Ninja Lucina on it? Maybe. Could be some kind of like weird Hero Fest Golden Week thing going on. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's too many banners, bro. But something else to kind of just be aware of. Allegedly in April, we have 4, count them, 4 green heroes currently in the legendary mythic emblem pool of stuff. Those 4 are going to be Hector, I think is how you say her name. Sather's sister person, I think. The one that gets overtaken by the Golden Curse. And then we also have Legendary Camilla and Mailcorn. And also now Robin. Legendary Male Robin's also coming back in April. I know what you're thinking. Oh, is somebody getting moved to a pool? No. No. That will be announced in August. Okay, that's not right now. So I would be willing to bet that Robin's just chilling in the April banner. And outside of that, you know, it is a Fates Hall of Forms month, so maybe you'll have Camilla or Corrin for that matter show up in Hall of Forms. It feels really early for either of them, especially Corrin. But I guess maybe because like Camilla's supposed to be announced to be bumped into the remix pool next February, so February 2026. So I don't really know what's up with that either. Keep the buck with you. And then I also think Legendary Lady Corrin is coming back in April. So like she also might be on the thing. It's confusing is what it is, okay? So, all that's April. None of that really matters right now outside of the fact Hector's in a weird spot at the moment. I can almost assuredly tell you that Thjazi is coming back this month to color share alongside Lyn. Now, what that means, you could have a jump. You could have a jump over to Bridget. Bridget could jump over, and then you'd have Lyn, Bridget, Thjazi. That could happen, or you could have a new legendary mythic emblem. That is also possible. You could have a new legendary mythic emblem in red. Like, could be Roy, for example. Roy could show up. And you could have all the OG Smash Sword guys up there in red. That would be fun. Maybe. I could possibly. Could also just be a wild card. Don't know. Awfully weird. This is what you guys get for voting in Hector, man. Just messing up everybody's worlds. Poor devs. But it is worth noting that with Thjazi being a rearmed option, that means that there is a chance, not necessarily a high likelihood, but a historical relevancy that an attuned hero could also be on the banner with her on it, because they've never run double of the same. They've never since attuned heroes have come out. Let me rephrase that. Since attuned heroes have come out, they have not really run double attuned or double rearmed. It has always been one or the other. So I think they put a lot of higher value on attuned heroes, which honestly makes some sense. So they usually run an attuned alongside an ascended or a rearmed or an aided hero now, because we have those too. But they've never run double attuned specifically. So with that said, Bridget being attuned and Hector being attuned, either one could show up. Or surprise option 4. It's 2 legendary mythic emblem options. That could be a thing too. I'm a little bit stumped, but it's okay, because it's good to be humbled, because I have been on such a GD winning streak with these things for like almost a year now that I'm just like, you know what, it's whatever. I'm confused. I'm a little kerfuzzled. But since the announcement of Hector coming back in April, it low-key has kind of made sense to me that this was going to be a slightly puzzling one. So I hold no ill will. It is what it is. I just want to know the answer. I just want to know the answer. That's all. That's really what I'm here for. But that is relatively what it's going to look like. Again, I think probably, given the situation, the most likely option, if they only do one legendary mythic emblem hero. Okay. I think that most likely option would be to have Bridget show up and then a new option in red. Okay. So green probably looks something more like Lynn, Thiazi, Brigid. And then red looks something more like Marth, Ike, Emblem Legendary Mythic. Now, a lot of people are also anticipating some kind of Emblem hero this month. They don't really know what kind it is. They're not going to tell us from now on. I love how it was like, oh yeah, these guys will be on rotation. And anytime it breaks from rotation, we're going to tell you. And then they told us one time when that rotation changed. And then bothered to never give notice of it ever again. And now you got dudes like me out here who track these things relentlessly and let, thousands of people know every month like what's popping here. Now they're just not going to tell us. And I don't know if it just makes their life easier because they'll decide like I imagine that they just have like half a dozen legendary, mythic, or emblem heroes geared up and ready to go at any time's notice, just put into the game. And then like they spin a wheel in the office the week before the end of the month, and they're just like, "Oh, looks like it's this character now," because they don't want to plan it out. They basically gave what otherwise would have been a very concrete, defined option that was coming later in the month, and made it a generic placeholder of we'll see, which is obviously not helpful to players. So, but that said, I still feel very good about being able to fill in the blanks outside of whether or not it's a legendary, mythic, or an emblem option, and then kind of using I don't know, like a best guess situation to see which color option might fill something that would be like kind of obvious, maybe like Emblem Roy, probably almost certainly going to be red, right? We know the deal with Balder and Hothor, and so those are pretty clear cut. In that example, it's the wild cards. I think they're going to be a little tricky, like Ira, where you're like, oh, Ira's legendary now. Cool. Stuff like that. But all that is to say, I just enjoyed talking with you today, and I hope you enjoyed this 12 minutes or so that we have spent interfacing a bit. That's it. That's what I have for you. I wish it was more concrete, but it's not. It's not. It's a weird month, man. They switched up how they label things. Hector should have been here. He's probably not now. I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I will try and live stream it. Hell or high water. So come check that out if you're interested. But we only got to wait a couple days because this is happening like pretty soon. So hopefully this ages well.